Hello everyone. I'm not sure there will even be that many people watching, if anyone. Um, but today in this video, as you can probably see by the title, I would like to talk about life and kinda some of my life experiences and how I've decided I'm going to either start or have been living my life. So, I'm gonna start by talking about, I'm gonna be jumping all over as far as time frames go. But I'm going to start my sophomore year of high school. So me and one of my friends, we were dicks to one of our teachers. We were really rude. We had this segment in our school called Obey Us, or our anti-bullying segment. And me and my friend, we wanted no part of it. We would fight the teacher. We would not participate. We would do our homework because we were students who got school and we understood it. We were both very smart and we could pass classes without studying and stuff outside of class. But when it came to homework, we always sort of either forgot or didn't get around to it, were a little lazy, procrastinated, whatever it may be. So we took this advisor time, which is like 20 minutes, to do our homework. So whenever the teacher tried to get us to participate, we would always fight them. And of course, with that, later in life, you realize how stupid that was. Because as we moved on into our senior year, we got way more involved in these bullying discussions. And we get to talk about it more. And I think part of the reason why we didn't want to participate before is because it seems like common sense. And most of the time it is. Like, I've adopted two models in my life that I will discuss with you also later in this video. But the model that comes to mind is don't be mean, or don't be a dick. Whichever way comes across better to you. Obviously, for some people it makes you feel better. I had a segment in life where one of my friends, I would pick on him a lot, and we are actually really good friends now, but I was doing it because I didn't know how else to deal with haters and bullies that were bullying me. But I never should have done that, ever. Never should have made them feel bad in that sort of way. And actually, I kind of told you I'd be jumping around in this video. Going back to my middle school days, which for my school, middle school was 5th grade to 8th grade. And during my 7th grade year, which is the first year where you have to go from class to class, you have to bring your books to your lockers, you don't have a homeroom, you don't have the same kids in all your classes. This was the first time that I really got that experience, and I was a big laughing stock of the school. I don't want to say the entire school. Quite a few kids wanted to make fun of me because I have always had the genes for growing facial hair. And I had a mustache. And I'm sure most of you, if any of you pay attention to history or anything like that, you can probably guess where I'm going with this. So in 7th grade is when I started to grow my mustache, which is far better now than it was then, I'll say. But they always called me Hitler. That was my nickname. And it didn't look like a Hitler stash. It was a full peach fuzz stash. But because I didn't shave it, I was Hitler. That was my nickname. And it really got to me. Until I was really upset. I didn't know how to handle it. I had been homeschooled until my 4th grade. So I'd only been in this public school for 3-4 years, and I'm getting made fun of super bad. It was rough. And it didn't really get better until 8th grade year. And bringing that up reminds me. So I do have a Facebook. And this was like the first year that I had made a Facebook. And the first thing I posted on that Facebook that summer was, can't wait for it to be school again, because I don't have anything to do. because I really didn't have any friends. I hadn't made any friends to hang out with during the summer, so summer was literally just me sitting on my butt. We didn't have that many video games at my house, so it was just, I didn't do anything. I read on occasion. Other than that, I slept a lot, went to the swimming pool. I never really had that friend to hang out with. So beginning of 8th grade year, someone who is the same friend I referred to earlier in this video, we had at our advisor time together, also in middle school as well as high school, and we had our first hour together. And he asked me, and he goes, "You want to come over to my house today?" And I was the first time I'd ever been asked over to someone's house, other than like a birthday party where a ton of people are going to be coming over. And I was just so amazed and shocked that somebody actually wanted me to come over to their house. I said yes before even asking my mother, as most kids do. But my mom said it was okay. I did end up going over there, and we had a great time. So the next weekend, I invited him over to my house, as well as someone else I had talked to during the summer. Wasn't sure if we were friends or not, because I'd been jumping from friend to friend over the past few summers. They all would still be rude to me, even after I tried to be nice. But anyway, we all hung out, and we watched Hangover 2. That was about the time that movie came out. So we decided to call ourselves the Wolfpack, and we had another friend of one of them came over, and we watched this Hangover 2. We had a sleepover, party, whatever, all stuff 8th grade kids do. But anyway, as my 8th grade year went on, my friend group grew, and we were all pretty close friends. There were some of us that were friends with both sides of the group, or some that were only friends with one side of the group. It was all over the place. We all called each other friends, but like some people had best friends within the group and stuff like that. But then we move on into my freshman year, and this is when we came up with a motto. I don't know if it's original or if someone else came up with it, but we called it Fish, because it was kind of our way of dealing with life. Because freshman year, I found out some rough news about my uncle, who was diagnosed with brain cancer and given 13 months to live. So we came up with this motto called Fish, which is fuck it, shit happens. Or, in other words, life is going to happen whether you want it to or not. So if you're moving through life and you don't want anyone you care about to die, you don't want anyone you care about to get injured, well then when they do get hurt or injured, you're even more upset because you're not prepared for it, because you're kind of like blocking it out. You don't think it's going to happen. It could never happen to me. And it can. No one is immune to such things. For me, that was a big thing for me to overcome. As the famous saying goes, only thing certain in life is death and taxes. And the death part is true. Someone you care about is going to die in your lifetime, most likely. Now, I'm not saying don't get upset that they died, but get past your point of grieving and just live your life. You can't let something drag you down, because you need to learn to live your life. You can't just expect life to be this utopia, but what you can do is work towards making it a utopia. And I've got a better way of explaining that. So let's put it this way. You can't expect every person to be nice to you every time, because you don't know how their day is going. But you can be nice to every person every time. So that what I'm saying here is that perfect utopia isn't going to create itself. Instead, you just need to be kind to other people to help make that perfect utopia. I realize this video is all over the place. I'm just trying to get my thoughts out. But yeah, if you go out living life, it's a famous thing my coach used to say in football. If you go out to play the game to not lose by 50, you're going to lose. If you play the game to win, you have a chance. So that's the way you gotta live life. You can't go through life trying to take every single precaution. You can't go through life making sure that no one gets hurt around you. You need to go through life living. And if living for you is, say, hiding out in a basement and not enjoying the sunlight, not talking to anyone, then that is your life. But for most people, I'm assuming that's not the way they want to live their life. They want to get out there and they want to enjoy it. And a lot of people are afraid to take risks. And sometimes in life, you just kind of have to take your risks. And now I'm going to come back full circle to the don't be a dick motto, because I need to elaborate on that more. I'm saying try not to be mean to someone you have no clue who they are. You don't know how their life goes, so you don't get to make fun of them. You can't just make fun of someone because of what they wear, because you don't know if it's because their family doesn't have enough money. You don't know if it's because they like that style of clothes as opposed to the other kind. Don't go make fun of someone because they're overweight. It could actually be a medical condition that you're making fun of. And especially, this is my number one pet peeve, don't make fun of someone who has a mental illness. I mean, they can't help it. That's the way they were born. You can't just make fun of something that they were born with. Like, sorry if I'm gonna have to move on to my next topic. If I keep on that too long, I will start ranting and swearing, and I don't want this video to be all about that. But continuing on, don't be a dick. There is a time to mess around and with your friends and make jokes, but at the same time, you need to not cross the line and go too far, which I have done far too many times. And I need to work on it, and I have been. But the way life works is change is always the most difficult thing. You need to learn to be able to change. You need to learn to be able to adapt. But you also need to learn how to be happy. No, I'm not saying this the societal norm of in order to be happy you need to have lots of money, have a really nice car, have a really nice house. To be happy is personally defined. Something you enjoy. So I would say I'm above average in school. I'm extremely good at math and sciences. So my parents naturally wanted me to be an engineer because they make a lot of money and I could pay for them to get a house and whatnot, all that fun stuff. But I really was undecided on what I wanted to do with my life. And then it was my senior year, I was made captain of the football team. And it really changed my whole career or my whole thought process, because I got to help out with these kids. I got to go have fun. I got to do all that fun stuff helping people out, and I realized how much I love to help people. So for the start of my senior year, one of my projects was to do a research paper. So I researched becoming a teacher, and I just found out that it was something that I would really enjoy, and I might have a chance to come back and do that, coaching football, talking with the kids, teaching them what I know and whatnot. So that's what I'm working towards. Specifically a science teacher, because science is probably my best subject. And I enjoy it. Something that I enjoy to do is science and help people, and as a science teacher I'm able to do both. as well as football, American football. That is something else I'm able to share with people, and really does kind of give you a whole new perspective on life. Because originally I was the same way. I wanted a super nice car. I wanted to be in the NFL, all that jazz. Um, and now I've kind of realized I don't need all that money to make my life happy. I just need to do something worth doing. Um, if that makes sense. Um, yeah, so that's how my mentality has changed in life. I was gone from being the kid who was bullied in school to being the kid who um, made fun of my friends too much, and the kid who got in a fight. And actually, here, this is a fun story for anybody who happens to be watching this. So in the 8th grade, this was before my friend had invited me over to his house. I was at the homecoming football game, which is such a big deal in high school, and I realize it's probably not going to be that big of a deal once I get older. Um, but I was at the game, and a bunch of kids kept bullying me the entire game, and one of them was one of the kids who later came over to my house, and I'm actually really good friends with now. But they told me that this other kid had told them all to do it. And me, being the infuriated, angry 8th grader that I was, I didn't care to think of reason. Um, so I went up to this kid and I kicked him in the back of the leg. And he got mad and he swore at me. And obviously you've heard me swear in this video, but back then I was a moderately sheltered child, so swearing was absolutely not okay in my book. So I came around and I tried to tackle to him, and because the angle I was running and he was able to just move his waist a little bit, and I slid right off and hit a fence. I popped up and I punched him twice in the face pretty hard, and then being as I had never gotten in a fight before, I do have a black belt in Taekwondo, but I really hadn't gotten in a fight before. So this kid came up and after I came up and punched him, he punched me a few times and whatnot. All said and done, I kind of just walked away. Um, but I ended up walking back over there and talked about it, and I found out the kid got a concussion. Um, I felt real bad. And not just because I got a concussion, but because he really didn't deserve it. Even if he had been telling them to do that, I really shouldn't have reacted in that way. And that's sort of the way you need to take a look at life. Maybe not. I realize it's difficult when you're angry to not think in that exact moment, but sometimes think about the scope of how am I going to feel about this afterwards, or how I'm going to feel about this in a few years or a few months. And even to this day, it still bothers me. I really should never have gotten angry enough to that point. The only good thing I'd say that would come out of it is because everyone thought, oh, he beat him up. No one made fun of me again for a better part of that year. And I don't know if that's why the kid who I'm now friends with approached me or what the deal was, but what I know is kids stopped making fun of me, which was like, whew, huge relief, because all of a sudden I'm not getting made fun of, I'm making friends, I'm starting to actually have a life. And I think back on it, and I should have used both my mottos in that situation. I should have said, fuck it, shit happens, and let the dumb kids who are bullying me be stupid and do what they wanted to do. And I should have not punched him. I should have used my saying, don't be a dick. which is exactly what I was. Even if it was me getting back at this kid, it never should have happened. And I still regret it to this day. But as I'm moving forward in life and realizing all these stupid things that have happened, I'm working towards trying to analyze situations more, trying to not repeat mistakes, trying to make the world a better place. Even though I'm only one person, I feel like even if I can just portray this message to even one other person, then they portray it to one other person, and it just continues to move forward. Or if I portray it to two people and they continue to, and it snowballs into this great movement. I honestly doubt that'll happen. The reason I'm doing this video is sort of because this is what I had in my head, and I wanted to make a YouTube channel because I like playing video games. I really like editing videos, and I needed something to do in my downtime because a lot of my friends are in a sport in the spring, and I have the capability, I should say, to play a spring sport, but I've chose not to because I'm not in as good a shape as I was this past fall. So I decided that I'm going to start posting these YouTube videos, and whether it be video games, Q&As, videos like this where I'm sort of talking about life and certain aspects of life. So if you are watching this video and you do like it, I ask you to leave a like or a comment. I especially want feedback. Any questions you would like answered, post it in the comments. I can do that in another video. In the description, I will leave a list of my Steam inbox. I would like your feedback on what games you'd like me to play. And lastly, if you did enjoy this video, please do subscribe. So if you are watching this video and you do like it, I ask you to leave a like or a comment. I especially want feedback. Any questions you would like answered, post it in the comments. I can do that in another video. In the description, I will leave a list of my Steam inbox. I would like your feedback on what games you'd like me to play. And lastly, if you did enjoy this video, please do subscribe.